This season on Hermitcraft.
You're a matador.
Because you're a matador.
What is a mattress store? Wait, it's not a master store?
A master door?
Oh, I build you a master door.
Playing games with me.
A matador.
A
Swinging some red carpet
matador!
around.
That's what you were okay.
Welcome to the Hermitcraft recap. My name is Pixel Riffs, our writer is LoyXP, and after many weeks in the making, it's finally here. Hermitcraft comes back with another season, and naturally we're over the moon about it, which doesn't take much because last we checked it had crashed into the ground. How you had one job. But before we get into the events and mishaps, we'd probably better explain what we're doing here. Hermitcraft Recap is a fan project we've been running since Season 4, providing a light-hearted week-to-week summary of the server's shenanigans. We're both Minecraft content creators with our own channels you can check out in the video description, and we're not affiliated with Hermitcraft in any way, so we don't have inside information or access to the server. We're just a bunch of folks with some time on our hands and a passion for Hermitcraft in general. The goal here is not to watch Hermitcraft so you don't have to, it's to celebrate Hermitcraft along with its community of fans, hopefully introduce you to some of the hermits you're less familiar with, and for those of you who don't have time to watch every episode every week, we aim to explain things so you don't get hopelessly lost. Speaking of being hopelessly lost, the hermits have no idea where they are either. This season, the seed for the world remains a mystery for even the most tech-savvy hermits.
The first time in Hermitcraft history that we're starting a new season on a blind seed, right? I mean, this means we don't actually know where anything is for the first time ever, and I just like to say I think this is a terrible idea. That's all I'm saying. I don't know where stuff is.
Wait, this was your idea? Come on.
For now, Zoomovoid alone knows the exact seed of the world, and we presume he hasn't previewed it beforehand, meaning the locations of structures, spawners, and the lay of the terrain will all have to be discovered on the actual server, unless some sleuths in the audience want to interrogate it out of the birch forest the group has landed in. The only thing we know for certain is that the south part of the world is off limits, with a world border preventing chunk loading there until 119 arrives, bringing mangroves, frogs, and the deep dark. So you may not want to go south after that anyway, because that's the Warden's territory, at least until Tango yoinks it and builds it a new home.
Oh my, I am on fire.
On other housekeeping news, no new members have been announced, and all the usual data packs apply, including the armor stand posing book, as well as the tool that allowed them to apply varied models to the carved pumpkin block. The video description has a link to a post on the Hermitcraft subreddit where Azuma has listed all the technical details. Naturally, we see the return of the proximity voice chat mod, used widely for spontaneous collabing and terrorizing Gemini Tay.
Oh, but the behind you gem!
Where?
And also every unattended crafting table in the spawn area has mysteriously turned into an obsidian block, though that's definitely someone partaking in shenanigans, and we invite you to let us know who that is in the comments.
But then there's this crafting shrine. I don't know who's responsible for this. We got a prankster among us.
It could well be someone who hasn't released a video at the time of writing, since this recap will only cover videos posted on Saturday, March 5th, and there are a handful of hermits whose first episodes are still in the pipeline. So if you're wondering where Mumbo, Rendog, or BOO are, for example, expect us to cover them in our Week 1 recap next Sunday. And with that out of the way, let's take a look at all the events and mishaps that occurred on the Hermitcraft server Day 1. Starting with Joe Hills, who immediately spams torches around the spawn area and gets started on a community tools chest, which is good because everyone around him starts exploring further afield, which means they end up dying and respawning pretty quickly.
Hi, Joe.
Hey, Scar. You need
I'm
tools
betrayed
or
again.
help or anything?
I could use the sharpest sword you can ever lend me.
I've got an axe.
A lot of it.
It's not especially sharp, but, you know, if you're just trying to hit
Hello,
Mumbo a
everybody.
couple times. Hey, Red.
Hi.
The chest of stone pickaxes and boats soon gets an awning to protect it from lightning strikes, and as various hermits return from more successful supply trips, Joe expands it into a mossy, tiered community garden where people can dig up their own vegetables.
I love the way beetroot looks. I hope they work out for you. I'm gonna take these and garden just over there. Thank you.
Awesome. Enjoy.
We find out Joe's long-term plan for the season in Zombie Cleo's video, where she announces that the two of them will be theming their side of the pond around myths and legends, Cleo herself adopting a longer dress and snake hair extensions to assume the Gorgon persona.
basic on like ruins and like temples and all that good stuff. So that's my theme for this season.
Her own story might be a tad more complicated than that, seeing as how her video starts with a nice animation on how she made it to Season 9 from the end dimension of Season 8, where we saw her last time. Turns out she just logged on, but only after an Enderman fed her a potion of dragon breath and pushed her off into the void.
Oh, I have a mustache. I forgot.
And you have a towel on the back of your head.
Before zombie Enderman Snake Woman can accumulate even more animals in her, she's swept away by Gemini Tay, Pearlescent Moon, and Impulse SV on a mission to raid a woodland mansion for the precious totems of Undying. The Undying doesn't last long, mind you.
Yeah.
Ow! Sorry.
I like what we've done with the floor
Give
plan.
appropriate amount of information.
It didn't quite go too well.
No.
Impulse is the most keen to find a totem, although they're all quite happy gathering some reading material from the mansion libraries, which is when the Evokers decide to dole out some pretty hefty library finds.
Here I go. I'm
Yeah,
brave.
Impulse.
Oh.
You're so good.
Ready?
Mini creep is on.
Okay. Well, this was fun.
After raiding a lush cave and establishing perhaps the season's first catchphrase,
Oh, behind you, Gem! Oh, behind you, Gem! What is wrong with this place? Oh, but the behind you, Gem!
Where?
Oh my gosh! Got it!
Gem and Impulse decide it's better if they stick together, and they raid a fortress, then domesticate a skeleton spawner for some early XP. The better to put all those bookshelves to use, I suppose.
You're gonna make a farm here. You're gonna make a farm here?
Yeah, so here's the thing.
Gem will watch Impulse make a farm here. This is the part where I put up a sign saying, Impulse watches Gem make the room look great.
Before long, they have various folks dropping in to see the farm in action, and Impulse finally gets the Fortune 3 pick he needs to go hunting for amethyst geodes, the better to build a pretty roof for his Tudor-in-looking starter house.
This has come along great. We've done so much today.
The Australian ping effect gets Pearl in hot water a couple of times, and hot lava at least once,
Well, this isn't going too well.
but it doesn't stop her from kicking butt in the Woodland Mansion and snaffling diamonds from under people's noses.
I'm at it! Mine.
At least she's happy to share before she heads off on her own to pillage the mountains for some early resources. After shacking up near Impulse and Gem and welcoming BOO to the neighborhood, Pearl trawls the nether for some more exotic wood types, the better to put together an alien-feeling house build, complete with an aerial tower and an overgrown vine-like plant. The interior has immaculate vibes and a growing record collection. Just don't ask about all the fish heads outside.
Found ourselves the other side disc, which is the new disc in 1.18 by Lena Rain. And I managed to find this in a dungeon, so I get to surprise our lovely friends with it in the next episode.
Gemini Tay, in turn, decides to live in a tree. Settling on an out-of-control oak, Gem adapts the canopy into a starter house of her own, though some materials take a trip to recover.
So I enlisted Jevin as an escort to the desert. Jevin was a great escort, I swear. I've got to do. Jevin!
Jevin has been escorting all sorts of people through all sorts of early game activities. The abandoned mineshaft adventure with vintage beef earns him a diamond armor for a horse, and so Jevin gallops through the starter area checking on the neighbors, until he and Cubfan decide to get some human armor as well, and go mining some more, even discovering a lush cave in the process. Naturally, they bring some moss to B-dubs for a new hoodie.
You want some spore blossoms?
Yeah!
There's 2 spore blossoms for you.
Oh my goodness, thank you.
No problem.
The leftover rocks come in handy for building a starter house, though whether we can call deep slate a starter material is a debate I'm not willing to have at this time. Naturally, the house has a horse stables.
Look at it in all its glory. I love it.
A much more exotic steed arrives with false symmetry. She actually follows up on the plot of the last season where she left riding her giant eagle. Therefore, False's starter house is the eagle herself, sitting perched on a tree-sized branch at the edge of the lake. In other words, she flew all the way here from Season 8 and boy are her arms tired. Once the group mining breaks out into bread-sponsored assassinations, False is quickly made sheriff again, though we're not sure what responsibilities that entails.
Click the bell!
Wait a minute! When has this turned into Kill Ren? I came here for taxes.
When I decide if I'm coming over or not.
Okay, fine.
Falsey, you
You
are the
gotta,
sheriff.
I have to think about it now.
You are the sheriff. You cannot be.
This taxes mission has failed miserably.
Actually, it's a very curious matter, seeing as how Rendog and Cubfan are apparently starting a whole state. Why else would they be demanding taxes off anyone willing to base on their side of the lake?
Okay, look, guys. See this? Our door is always open for you. Just consider that. Always.
I mean, I just closed it.
Hey, none of that. Keep it open.
Admittedly, the only contribution the two expect out of the citizens of Ren and Cub Rock is to maybe build something cool on there, which would be the point of an entire server, pretty much. At the very least, the citizens will probably be fed now that the two mayors put a chicken or egg farm together.
Do you want to do you want to share storage with me? Shall we, dude?
Sure.
Only the OG viewers will know what I'm talking about right now. Let's Kingdom Craft this bad boy, dude.
Oh yeah.
Whatever plans they hatch, it'll hopefully go better than it went for Iskall, who logged out at Gem, Pearl, and Impulse's base wearing a chicken head, and logged back in to find himself entity crammed by poultry.
We can make you a chicken coop.
Pearl's a little harder to win over, okay?
Just put me in the
Right there.
industrial
There
area.
you go.
Perfect. That's a good spot for a chicken.
That is a good spot.
What? What? Hey, at least that's never happened before.
The chicken head seems to have stuck, but as Iskall tries to scratch together a starter house, he realizes the cliff he wanted to build in won't have the view he expected. Azuma has a build planned right in front. So instead he flattens an area further up the slope, builds a cute A-frame house with a moss roof, then hollows out a basement 10 times the size and gets planning. The storage chests go in, his goals for the season are outlined, and it won't be long before he's drawing mustaches on things again.
Oh, look at that. Our little house on the hill. Oh no, it looks like two eyes and a nose. I don't understand. Every time I build something, it just turns into a face.
Azuma Void's goal for now is to establish a house. That alone gives him quite the runaround. The materials for the build have to come from several different nether biomes, a far-off desert, and a forest of regular old wood. So even if X doesn't aim to get all the top gear just now, gathering the materials alone made him invest in a set of tools and armor strong enough to at least survive the trip. The blocks gathered are put together into a spooky yet bright design, even if the ghost house is more of a ghost visage. For now it only has one wall.
I just love how this looks like a big pile of blocks at the moment. And for those of you that are really observant, you'll realize, yeah, there's no back to this build, there's no sides. All I've done so far is the front facade.
Speaking of spooky appearances, Tinfoil Chef makes his first appearance in proximity voice chat after having had a hard time getting it working in Season 8, which has the unexpected side effect of jump scaring anyone within earshot.
So yeah, for those paying attention, I actually got to check my working. I fought with that thing all last season.
He spends most of his time scavenging for coal and other supplies along the shoreline of Spawn and helping to expand the community farm, although the local spear fishermen are a thorn in his side. But when the new ore distribution makes it difficult to find some easy surface iron, and the copper isn't much help either, he throws together a birch shack just to have somewhere to stash his current materials, and somewhere to retreat to after making jokes like this.
I never thought of you as being pig-headed.
Vintage Beef realizes all the good iron is to be found deeper in the world, and he'll need a lot of it for shears in an automated sheep farm, the better to have a supply of wool for his first major project. Luckily for him, a caving session with Ijevin uncovers a huge iron vein, and after penning up a bunch of sheep, string for dispensers is the final major bottleneck. Enter XB Crafted, who has the location for an abandoned mineshaft, but will take no responsibility for what happens next.
I'll trade you 42 iron for some string.
Oh, that sounds like, how much string do you need? Man, this is the good stuff. What are you talking about?
Another invisible spider. What the heck? No! No! Can I just point out that I believe the last thing I heard before I blew up was "oops" from you? Watch out behind you! Watch out behind you! Watch out behind you!
With cactus provided by Ijevin, Beef has all the colors he needs for an auto farm, but good luck crafting anything with it, now all your crafting tables have mysteriously turned into obsidian. When XB isn't introducing people to creepers, he's getting familiar with the new territory of sub-zero mining. Branching out into the deep slate levels of the world, he mines his way to a generous handful of diamonds, and drinks in the ambience of the new and improved underground. Getting mobbed by mobs on his way back up from the caves is all part of the fun, and he gets to wear his newfound success when he meets up with some other folks at Spawn.
Doc's a romantic, in case you didn't know.
The language of love. Literally the worst flower in Minecraft.
No.
An even more contrived quest for starter house materials awaits Tango Tech. On day one of the server, Tango decides to build his home with honey blocks in the design. Being a redstone mechanizator, you would expect the sticky substance to be part of some Rube Goldberg Create Mod inspired contraption, but no. After many tribulations, Grian breaking a full bee nest, lending a silk touch pick from Wells Knight, relocating a colony of bees, and putting together a whole bee farm.
Ow!
Oh! I didn't know that happened. I didn't know that happened.
The honey blocks turn out to be literally window dressing.
I just feel like the shearing thing was supposed to work. Oh, can we just say, by the way, that I love the honey block windows? For whatever reason, I've never seen it done. It just looks like there's like this magical light in each one of the rooms. That probably took an extra 6 hours to make the whole bee farm and everything. Totally worth it.
For an admittedly pretty cool looking home on deep slate tectonic stilts, geologists log off. Log off real hard. We have our rocks with people in them. Pay attention here because it gets confusing. Grian decides to live in a rock, and so does Zedaf. But it's not the same rock, even though both of them make it a point to moss it up real nice, and the designs look kinda similar.
Just get a little hint of it, but... And voila! There we go, Zed's humble boulder abode, or the abolder, as I like to call it. Basically, this is what we're gonna be living in for a little while. That's a nice boulder.
The difference here is that Grian's rock is bigger and will grow and expand to once more become the strongest, rockiest shop on the server like the barge and the train did, whereas Zedaf is Evil Knievel.
And it's basically a living, breathing thing, although I haven't produced its lungs yet.
Rocco doesn't even have a mouth! Rocco's just a rock! Rocco's not alive!
It will come as no surprise that Zed's priorities with Minecraft play are, to say the least, unorthodox, and this season the misguidedness is very much the point. The goal is to accomplish as many death-defying stunts as possible, each of them commemorated in a custom-made gold cup with an item representative of the accomplishment in it.
Can I break it at all? I can't even break it. Oh, hang on, I could rotate. Oh no! Oh, I can move it. Okay, well, my base is that direction.
The first order of business is to MLG water bucket from a platform at build height all the way down to bedrock, including a trick shot version where the bucket is deployed a full few seconds before the Zedaf. He passes first try with flying colours as long as you edit out all the times he died.
Yeah, full Doppler effect here.
Okay, we'll see what happens. You jug faces! Okay, they cleared it up.
Well, you wouldn't surprise anyone with fall damage on this server anyway. Scar scores enough of his own heads with it that they form a good times wither.
Gosh, it is quite remarkable how much has gone on.
Grian and Mumbo happen to have a cave going to deep slate level and spleef him down it as soon as somebody names it the Bottom Hold 2. Still, it's a fate much less cruel than the one donkey Grian named Donk. Nothing bad happened to it, it's just a very unfortunate name. Nevertheless, Donk is instrumental to Grian's first mining session and sure helps carry the plenty of surface ores home like a resilient shulker box. As for Grian's living rock, yes, that is what he's doing. The overgrown stone is meant to be living, breathing, and growing. It even has a conduit in it, and those things make a heartbeat noise when activated.
But I spent a good hour fishing for Nautilus shells, and boy are they rare. No!
Stress Monster's starter house also evolves from a ball, but with a very different outcome. Claiming a spot overlooking spawn, she builds a wooden sphere which turns out to be the body of a classic-looking teapot.
Oh, it looks all majestic, doesn't it? Bless it. Look at it. I literally don't see anything else that's actually built. That's going to be hilarious when people log on and they...
Having found a lush cave while mining with false symmetry and a flower forest while out exploring, Stress decorates the interior with flower pots and spore blossoms, so we're pretty sure the tea inside is herbal. One thing we can be sure of is that it doesn't have any wheat in it.
Doc will be back.
Good.
Really?
I was a
Can
bit,
you undo bread? You can't, right?
I was a bit hungry.
Wait, did we get some wheat out of that village? Stress? A little bit?
I may have made bread.
Sorry, no. I killed them.
May have made bread.
Because
I could grow some.
We really wanted to bring some cows back to spawn.
And finally there's Doc M, who came to this season with a point to prove.
In Minecraft 1.18,
Couldn't wait to get my hands on that.
After running around with stress and locating a village, Doc saddles up a horse and rides around like a man on a mission. Off camera, he puts together a villager breeder, an iron farm, and a trading hall, then heads off to the Nether where a basalt delta awaits. Doc doesn't mind where the Nether spawns him because his goal is the Nether roof, where he breaks bedrock using an exploded bed instead of TNT, and sets up an entire turtle egg-powered gold farm. Friendly reminder, this is episode 1.
Man, oh man, the grind was real.
The gold is all for a purpose, but since he's mysterious about the methods involved, we'll stay silent on what exactly it is he's doing until more is revealed. But for those of you who've seen what Doc M was capable of in Season 8, keep an eye on the poppies in his hotbar, and remember, he's only just getting started.
I need to start phase 3, the final phase of proving a point.
And that's about it for our Day 1 recap. Our writer is LoyXP and my name is PixelRiffs. Captions on this video were provided by Liara, and we'll be back next week for a full recap of the first week on Hermitcraft Season 9. It's good to be back. As we mentioned before, each of us are Minecraft content creators with our own channels, so please do check those out if you want to support us and the other stuff we make. But of course, we're here first and foremost to celebrate Hermitcraft. So if you're curious about any of the clips you saw in today's episode, go and check out those hermits. You might be looking at your new favourite Minecraft series. Don't forget to leave a like while you're still here and subscribe so you won't miss future recaps. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next week.